This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. Look, I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. Let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best. This is part 2. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Part 2 of this extremely long-winded bullshit lawsuit against everybody. Harris County Adult Detention Center custody. Following the arrest, Petrini and Plaintiff Fusco were transported to the Harris County Adult Detention Center. You think? During transport, described in the preceding paragraphs, each plaintiff was handcuffed and was additionally restrained by the vehicle seatbelt over the handcuffs. The seatbelt over the handcuffs configuration caused pain and physical injury to Plaintiff Fusco's wrist. Got news for you. In the state of Mississippi, it is a requirement for all passengers and the driver to be restrained by a seatbelt. So, tough shit? Upon arrival at the Harris County Adult Detention Center, Harris County personnel subjected each plaintiff to an ionizing radiation X-ray examination without obtaining each plaintiff's consent. They don't need your consent, dickhead. You're a fucking inmate. Without explanation by medical staff, without probable cause to believe either plaintiff was concealing contraband, and without exigent circumstances. Guess what? They don't have to do that. Again, putting my former hat on as a correctional officer. I don't need your consent to search. You have no rights. I can search your ass anytime I want to. I can search your ass 50 times a day if I choose to. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I have pulled inmates over on the yard, put them up against the wall and pat searched them because maybe they had something, maybe they didn't, maybe I just felt like they may have. Maybe the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. My ears were ringing. Something. Because why? Because that's my job. Each plaintiff was processed through the detention center booking procedures on more than one occasion during the custody period. Each plaintiff was required to change the Harris County Jail uniform. Well, yeah, that's what they do. You show up, you get searched, you get your street clothes taken from you, and you get your county issues. Each plaintiff was subject to a visual body cavity search requiring plaintiff to squat while unclothed. Yeah. Hey, man, face away from me. Spread your feet. Squat. Cough. Lift your scrotum. Done it many times. Many, 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 many times. And by the way, if it bothered you so much, why were you laughing about it in the video or in the audio? Oh, damn. You couldn't have been that emotionally scarred. I promise you, if anybody's got a right to be emotionally scarred from having to fucking deal with unclosed strip searches, that would be me. Because again, I've done thousands of them. Each plaintiff was held in custody of Harris County for 9 hours. At no point during May 5th custody period was either plaintiff admitted to the general population. Well, no, you're in a fucking holding cell. Before requesting medication, Trinity disclosed his ADA qualified status and booking personnel at Biloxi Police Department prior to transport. But Trinity then requested medication required to manage disability identified. Guess what? Tough shit. They don't give you medicine unless you've already been booked in and you're in GP or you're considered booked and you're not getting released. Throughout the custody period, neither plaintiff was provided information regarding the basis for an anticipated duration of their detention. They didn't have to give you that. Fusco was not permitted to place any telephone call during the custody period. Patrine was not permitted to place a telephone call until 9 p.m. and only after repeated request. Each plaintiff was required to post bond the amount of $1,000 as a condition of release from custody. The bond amount required each plaintiff exceeded by twofold the maximum statutory monetary penalty applicable to the charge underlying each plaintiff's arrest as described in paragraph 75. That's still not excessive bonds. The bonding party for each plaintiff tendered cash in approximately the amount required to satisfy the bond and associated fees. Yeah, they paid a cash bond. They could have got a surety bond and only paid $175 a piece to get out. $150 a piece to the bail bondsman and $25 a piece to the county for turnkey fee. Harris County personnel applied an exact change only cash receipt policy and refused to accept cash tendered notwithstanding the tender exceeded the amount due. They can do that. They've done that for years. As a direct and proximate result of the exact change cash receipt policy described in the preceding paragraph, each plaintiff was detained at Harris County Adult Detention Center for an additional approximately 2 hours into the night while the bonding party procured the exact change. Well, yeah, you could have called a bondsman, though. Bondsmen take credit cards. So that was, you can file that under your fault. Defendant Polos's May 5th conduct. Prior to May 5th, witness JP was both a customer of Defendant Polos in connection with insurance services and a former code enforcement employee, City of Biloxi, who had worked directly under supervision of Defendant Tara Ramage. On a date prior to May 5th, JP terminated her insurance agreement with Defendant Polis. On May 5th, Defendant Polis placed several telephone calls to JP, switching different phone numbers when prior calls were unsuccessful in reaching her. Where's the proof? During these communications, Defendant Polis said to JP that he had that day filed complaints against Plaintiff Fusco with members of the U.S. military. During those communications, Plaintiff Polos stated to JP that he had been speaking by telephone with members of the U.S. military regarding Plaintiff Fusco. So, during those communications, Defendant Polo said to JP, Plaintiff Fusco messed with the bull and now gets the horns. I agree with that. You done fucked with the bull, you got the horns here too. During those communications, Polo said to JP that he had participated in actions that led to the arrest of plaintiffs. Well, yeah, you broke the fucking law. They went to jail. Defendant Polis disseminated images described in the preceding paragraphs as follows Facebook page. Defendant Joanne Polis is the spouse of Defendant Samuel Polis. Joanne Polis has claimed authorship of at least one publication targeting plaintiffs on the Facebook ecosystem. Facebook is an ecosystem? Okay, interesting. Comprising the pages and Samuel Polis also a personal Facebook page. Joanne has engaged in publicly documented conduct of a racially charged character directed at a black individual. The documentary evidence, which has been preserved and published. Joanne has, through Facebook groups under her control, to which she contributes content, accused plaintiffs of falsifying facts published on plaintiffs' journalism. Well, you know what? You have falsified facts. A lot of them. I'm saying it. Sue me! The selective disclosure scheme by defendants McMahon and Thacker. Catherine McMahon and Stacey Thacker are City of Biloxi employees responsible for custody and statutory response to public record requests, blah, blah, blah. Prior to any disclosure, Biloxi Municipal Court docket. Okay. So basically, reading this, and I'm not going to read this whole thing, it's basically that they said that there was a arrest going on. There was an arrest warrant. I'm not reading all that shit verbatim. Let's see. JP's formerly served as code enforcement officer. Tara Ramage maintains sexual relationships. Where's the proof? Where is the fucking proof? Tara Ramage spoke openly during city office hours in the presence of her co-workers about the sexual relationship. Really? Where's the proof? Tara Ramage maintained a sexual relationship with defendant Jerry Creel. Where's the proof? JP reported Tara Ramage's misconduct to Jill Pohl and Human Resources. Defendant Jerry Creel terminated JP's employment after the report described the preceding paragraph. Where is the proof? Just because you say it, you better prove it. Let me guess. You're jealous she wouldn't give you the time of day, you dumb bastard? Which I don't know why any woman would give either one of these two creeps the time of day. No wonder your wife left you, you dumb bastard. On March 5th, Petrini transmitted by electronic mail a former press inquiry request for comment to defendant Michael Whitehead and his City of Biloxi Chief Administration Officer Richard Weaver. May 5th press inquiry identified Petrini as investigative journalist and publisher of People v. Biloxi, Society of Professional Journalism. I love that. Society of Professional Journalists. You're not a professional journalism. You're just a dumbass. The May 5th press inquiry asks on the record whether Tom Morales had engaged in sexual relationship with city residents over whom she was simultaneously exercising code enforcement authority. Also asked if Jerry Creel was aware of those relationships. Press inquiry set a deadline of 5 p.m. Central Time, Friday, March 6th, and said any response be published in full. Neither defendant Whitehead or Weaver responded to the request. Well, guess what? I wouldn't have responded to the request either. I'd have just called you a dumbass. March 5th press inquiry placed defendants Whitehead and City of Biloxi on actual notice 55 days before the April 29th warrant was signed and 61 days before the May 5th arrest of the factual basis of Petrini's journalism concerning Tara Ramage. No, man, you're mad. You're mad that she shut you down, so you want to go ahead and run her character into the ground. That's your fucking problem. You want to run her into the ground because she gave you a stop work order and said, you better knock your shit off. Factual allegations concerning defendant Tara Ramage set forth reflect content published by Petrini on Petrini's journalism platform, People v. Biloxi. Factual allegations described
preceding paragraph related exclusively to Tara Ramage's conduct in her official capacity as code enforcement employee under color of state law. Each factual allegation. What factual allegation? What factual? You got somebody saying that, oh, Tara Ramage was fucking everybody. Where's the proof? Where is the proof? Show me pictures. Show me statements from somebody other than a disgruntled former co-worker. Show me something. Let's see it. Let's see conversations. Let's see GPS with her showing her the city vehicle at somebody's house on city time. Not doing her job. Oh, wait, you don't have any of that because it probably doesn't exist. The factual allegations, it's not factual allegations. Three-phase electrical permit denial and manufactured zoning proceeding. Plaintiff Petrini owns property 287 Bone Street, 929 Division Street, Biloxi, in a fee simple in his personal name, having title acquired by blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. On January 22nd, an application for electrical permit to substitute the electrical panel property and install three-phase electrical service was submitted by the Biloxi Building Department. The application sought electrical panel substitution and neither requested nor required any change in zoning, use, classification of property. January 23rd, Defendant Jerry Creel, in his capacity as Biloxi Building official, issued a written response asserting that manufacturing other than retail manufacturing requires industrial zoning, which it does. What you bought was an old TV repair shop. I'm gonna start skipping because this is getting annoying. On February 5th, Attorney J. Henry Ross, on behalf of the city, issued a letter purporting to reframe plaintiff's position as an admission that property is being used for fabrication purposes outside the scope permitted uses in the RB Residential Business Zoning District, and directed Plaintiff Petrini to appeal to the Zoning Board for Adjustments and Appeals. Yes, that is what you do. Alright, so now we're on the zoning shit that he wants to bitch about because he didn't do shit the right way. Here we go. Claims for relief against Glavich, Gillich, and the city of Biloxi by Petrini and Fusco. Let's see, what are they trying to get here? Adams interruption, consuming Petrini's allotted citizens' comment time. Oh, poor baby, you were sitting there running your mouth saying nothing. Preventing Petrini from completing the message he intended to deliver on matters of public importance containing the city and its officials. You know what? When you start off saying, hey, Mayor Gillich, oh, y'all are all Dixie Mafia, you're going to get cut off. You went in there looking for a fight, dude. Y'all both went in there. You go in there every time looking for a fight. That's what you do. You're a bitch. You went in there to show your ass, to look for a fight, and you got shut down. Neither plaintiff now feels capable of safely attending and speaking at city council meetings. Good. You don't, in my opinion, y'all don't deserve to speak. You're not from here. All you want to do is run your mouth, put bullshit out on Facebook and on your website, call people Dixie Mafia. Ooh, the Dixie Mafia. This is starting to piss me off. Accurately quoting Tara Ramage's April 28th charging affidavit disclosing recusal status, Biloxi Municipal Court judges, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what is your damages? Damages compensatory, nominal, and punitive against individual capacity to finish the declaratory and injunctive relief and attorney's fees. Shield defeating the right to speak, designed public as designated public forum free of viewpoint-based suppression was clearly established. So you didn't say what you wanted. I tell you what, I'll offer to settle out of court for $1 if you shut the fuck up and leave. On behalf of the city of Biloxi. As a matter of fact, I have a counterclaim for you. I ought to sue y'all for this. I ought to sue y'all for the cost of the city. For all the extra patrols and extra cops that are required to sit around people's houses because of your fucking threats. Count 2, First Amendment and freedom of the press. Against Gillis, D-Back, City of Biloxi by Petrina and Fusco. You know, I wish I had as many hats as them two do. You know, journalism, journalist, engineer, government contractor, secret agent man, international man of mystery, you know, all this other shit that they all claim. It's pretty pathetic. Alright, let's continue with this shit. How far down? Damn, I'm still not even halfway down. Each plaintiff publishes an active municipal political journalism platform, blah, blah, blah. Government adverse action. Mayor Gillich ordered physical removal of Plaintiff Fusco. Press function impairment. Plaintiff Fusco was prevented from observing and reporting the remainder of the proceeding. He showed his ass and he was told to get the fuck out. Alright. First Amendment retaliation against Glavin, Gillich, Creel, D-Back, Whitehead, Tara Ramage, Schroeder, Johnson, Lusk, McMahon, Thacker, and the city of Biloxi by Petrini and Fusco. Protected activity. Petrini's protected activity includes the filing and prosecution of 3 federal civil rights actions against the city of Biloxi, the publication of investigative journalism on PPP Biloxi, the March 3rd citizen comment speech, and the March 5th press inquiry. Fusco's protected activity includes the operation of Biloxi Politics Uncensored, his active duty status as a United States Air Force Master Sergeant, his March 3rd parliamentary objection, and April 26th journalism counterpost, and April 29th Mississippi Public Records Act request. Adverse actions: the June 30 stop work order, the November 7th Whitehead surveillance, the March 31st Whitehead visit, CIU bulletins, the April 28th charging affidavit, the April 29th Lusk signed warrant, and the May 5th arrest. Blah, blah, blah. $500 maximum penalty, $500 maximum penalty charge. May 5th gag order. The withholding of records from plaintiff that were leaked to Operation Icebreaker. Allegedly, you dumbass. Adverse actions, Fusco, November 24, Creel to Mosley emailed, March 10, Keesler contact, Colonel Robinson memorandum, Defendant Glavin's paid delivery of harassing materials to Keesler. Any proof? March 3rd, chamber removal, April 28th, charging affidavit, April 29th, warrant, May 5th, arrest. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Let's see, this is more bullshit. This is more of the same. This looks like just a repeat. That's all just repeat. Let's see. That's all bullshit. We've all read all that before. Okay, here we go. Fourth Amendment, malicious procurement of a warrant against Tara Ramage. Let's see. Defendant Tara Ramage executed a charged affidavit against Petrini on April 28th. Charged affidavit was also executed against Fusco the same date. Blah, blah, blah. Actual allegations concerning defendant Tara that formed the predicate of criminal charges corroborated by witness JP and additional former code enforcement employees were placed on actual notice. Statutory safe harbor preclusion. Provides that news organizations. You're not a fucking news organization. Blah, blah, blah. Same shit. Pretextual targeting directive against DBAC. Blah, blah, blah. That's more of the same. Equal protection. Yeah, you got equal protection. Eighth Amendment and excessive bail. I think I covered that one. Conspiracy to obstruct federal litigation. Okay, I'd like to see this. That nobody tried to obstruct shit, dumbass. Equal protection, neglect to prevent. Conspiracy. ADA failure. Oh, you motherfuckers. Oh, that's funny. That's That's hilarious. I'm not reading all that because I know it's dumb. I can pretty much tell you what it says, though. Unreasonable search. Oh, kid, this is funny. I've already explained this, so I'm not going there. Defamation under Mississippi law. Okay. False defamatory statements. Operation Icebreaker page. You still don't know who was behind that page, dumbass. Ah. Blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's nothing. This actually might have a claim. This one here might have a claim because they are entitled to a phone call upon arrest. So yeah, this actually might be, they actually might have a valid claim here. But it wouldn't be against the city of Biloxi, it'd be against Harrison County. Their policies of not allowing somebody to call a bail bondsman or whatever as soon as they're in booking, that's a problem. If that's in fact what happened, they may actually have a claim there. And I want a jury. Let's see. Prayer for relief. This is what I was wanting to see. This should have what they want. Declaratory judgments. Plaintiffs violated 1st, 4th, 6th, 8th, 14th Amendments. Declaratory judgment. Defendants violated plaintiffs' rights under Article blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not gonna fly. 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 Yeah, none of that's gonna fly. I got a headache reading that. Y'all have a good day.